Mtazamaji, taarifa hizo tutazipata kwa kina baadaye. Hebu sasa tuelekee pale bungeni ambapo mashirika na kampuni za mchezo wa kamari zinakutana na kamati ya bunge la seneti ambao ni kamati ya michezo. Mtazamaji, hebu kwa sasa tuwasikize wanasemaje kuhusiana na masuala ya kamari hapa nchini baada ya mashirika hayo kuweza kuwekewa vizuizi kadhaa hapa nchini.
And only in riverboats or in the native territories, where the Indians live. You could go and open a casino or on actually a moving riverboat. But when this became very competitive, some states started to, liberalize their law in terms of casinos. So you have a problem here where the government, this is not just scary, they want to deter some behavior, which I think you need to have that conversation. They feel you're turning the nation into a casino economy, like Senator Mutula is saying. And secondly is your behavior also. Because the taxman, when they feel you have a lot of money in your hands, if suddenly build a 20-story building in town, you are tracking the taxman. They want to know where that income is coming. And now it appears that in your industry is inviting investments, not only locally, but internationally. And they have identified this sector as a very lucrative sector. And then people see you, and this issue arose in the House of Commons, that you are able to sponsor an English team, not 1, 2, 3. And I know when you sponsor Barcelona, how much it requires. And when a Kenyan company can actually sponsor a Premier League club in the United Kingdom, it is a matter which automatically will attract the attention of the taxman. And then in relation to what when you sponsor local teams, the amount of money you're using to sponsor local teams compared to enabling even Hull or Everton to wear shirts, branded shirts from Sportspesa, the amount of money you're paying. You are now even in Formula One. I'm a great follower of Formula One. You're sponsoring Formula One. You're in the league with Red Bull. The sponsors of Formula One are not ordinary companies. So part of it is your behavior. You're showing quite clearly you have a lot of money. So the taxman is attracted. Yeah. So I'm trying to get this out of you, that probably you're the author of your own problems on two accounts. That the country wants to deter behavior locally, and secondly, your behavior locally and internationally shows that you have a lot of spare money, a lot of it which is sponsoring English teams. And I'm sure if what you're giving Everton, all of it was put together, you would, the Kenyan football clubs would not need any money at all, because we hear some of these figures. And I want full disclosure, because I was in England last year when Gore was playing with Everton. And I want to say you didn't pay my ticket, didn't pay my hotel. I want to be very clear about that. Yeah, but you sponsored some people also to go there. I want to tell you that even as taxes keep on increasing on your part, people in the same kind of industry, like tobacco, like alcohol, both in terms of deterring behavior and so also in terms that you're making money, you'll find every year taxation increases on alcohol and some of this. So I wanted to give that general picture, because I think you are trying to deal with the taxman in isolation, deal with Mr. Matiang'i in isolation. But I think your problem is bigger than that, and you need to have that conversation. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Faki.
Mine is to maybe inquire from SportPesa. What safeguards have you put in place to ensure that young people are not engaged in gambling, and also it doesn't affect the family fabric? Because I'm told in places like Nandi, where my chairman is coming from, people are addicted so much that school fees is being used for betting instead of paying it to the schools, the students to go to school. Thank you.
Senator Malala, so please let's be brief that way so that we can. Why is Senator Malala?
Yeah, thank you. Just a little different approach from my senior Senator Rengo. I think that behavior perception should not be used to antagonize the people who are supporting sports, because we've had Kenyan teams benefiting from the English teams. Recently we saw Kariobangi Sharks coming to play with Everton. I think this is an experience that has not been in this country for a very long time. And therefore, just a moment, I'm trying to build a case that perception, Chair, that perception, it is my opinion, the way Senator Orengo gave his opinion.
Let's allow SportPesa to answer.
Yes, but
if you can just, don't pursue that line, just try another line.
but Chair, what I'm trying to say here is that the taxman should not use the behavior of a certain company or a certain individual to determine the taxes. If we used that rationale, then Senator Orengo will pay more taxes because he puts on a more expensive suit than I put on. So they will, they will. If we use that as a precedent, we shall be going the wrong direction. So how I wish we have
Me, I was trying to be part of the solution, trying to put to them what the problem is. Senator Malala is arguing a case. I'm trying. We don't have a solution now in the court. Matiang'i is saying no license. Yeah, so I'm being honest with you. Malala made all these things about bringing Everton here. That will not be a problem, because I think your problem is much bigger. So I think what I'm saying is as a way of dealing with the problem, because I don't think it's a problem you can see. You can just blame the taxman or you blame Matiang'i. I think it's a bigger problem than it is. And it's not a case between me and Senator Malala.
Thank you, Senator Orengo. Let's make progress. We are running out of time. Senator Susan Craig.
I don't know, Chair. I'm a bit concerned. Concerned because I hear what Senior Counsel Orengo is saying. But for me, I think that is really the basis of the problem that we have with the taxman. We then seem to have a very greedy taxman who is selective in the approach of who they go after, if really that is the problem. If the problem is because they are flamboyant, then you'll just continue with other people doing the same thing, but silently, who will then not be caught under the trap, or so to speak. So my question then would be, is the Ministry of Interior, because I think I saw that's where that letter originated, are they trying to legislate morality by closing some companies down, but at the same time, leaving others in the same field? So then what I would want to know, if the issue is because, and there is an issue, but I think that's a question for another day. It should not be tacked in here. You know how they say when you want to, when you want to kill a dog, you just give it a bad name. So we must separate the morality issue, or whatever those issues are that are happening, with the tax issues here. And I would want to know, because I understood what the commissioner said, the KRA commissioner said, when she said they don't give licenses. We understand that, of course we know that. But we were saying that the recommendations to cancel those licenses were based on, they came so close to the issue of not paying taxes that you sort of cannot separate. And it sort of seemed like there was a recommendation from them, because they have been unable to collect, that these companies should be shut down. So my question then would be, are we so arbitrary as the taxman, so that you don't give these companies due process to be able to come to the table and come with a solution, instead of just rushing to shut them down? Because, I mean, when they also talk about in 1 year paying more taxes than they've paid in 5 years, and in those 5 years they paid about 17 billion, then clearly there's a problem somewhere. So I wish we would stick to the facts of the taxes, and let us not try to muddy the waters by throwing in morality. The Ministry of Interior should do better than try to confuse Kenyans using that to then shut some companies down and leave others running. But I need to know what is the distinction on those whose licenses were renewed and on those whose licenses were shut down. Do we have selective enforcement going on?
Thank you. Since the Betting Control License Board and the Ministry of Interior are not here with us, I will make a ruling as we conclude the session. We have noted your concerns. Senator Mutula Kilonzo.
I just want to be brief. Chair, let me stand. My law firm has been a victim of perceptions, of flamboyance. And clients' accounts are then issued with agency notices. Let's not play around with this issue. It's a serious issue. Secondly, if I was to sit here to judge on morality, I would not sit here. I would go to church and start praying. Pray for your children who are using their fees to bet or do something. But it is wrong. It is absolutely wrong to use the law selectively, because we are lawmakers. We cannot advocate for law breaking. And let me tell you what gives me a tragedy about this. This young man is a young man like me, sat in front of us, this Senate, when I was in the KQ Select Committee, because he was retrenched, a pilot. This gentleman was retrenched from Kenya Airways for being a young person and replaced with somebody else. Now he's running an honest business. He has been run out of town for arbitrariness. This country, you must pick one thing and pick consistency. I refuse a country where law is used to suffocate honest business. Well, fraudsters in this country are making money and walking away. Chairman, let's get back to course. Let's enforce the law. We are lawmakers. Thank you.
Thank you. I think now that those who are just, you will note those questions. I want to quickly move, because we are almost running out of time, and the commission will be coming in shortly. I will invite the Betin. Just you can allow them. They need here. You are ready. Do we have you in? And I hope the CS and the KRA and other stakeholders are noting these concerns, so that in case before we close, I'll give you to highlight some of those that you will need to reply to or take up. Maybe Betty.
Honorable members, once more, my name is Daniel Ngumi from Anjawalenkana, representing GAM Code, trading as Betin. Thank you for the opportunity of coming here. We were invited to come and give our representations to this committee. And what we would like to do is to essentially, first of all, echo some of the comments that have been made by Sponsor, but secondly, also draw to your attention to a letter that was delivered to the Senate, dated the 26th of July, 2019, which I hope is before you. We have also added a number of documents, which I believe you have here with you. I will be presenting together with my colleague, Faith Masharia, also from Anjawalenkana, on behalf of GAM Code Trading as Betin, where relevant, and she will jump in as we carry on. Honorable members, I think the critical issue that we want to emphasize on is that this issue is really an issue of rule of law. I think we have mentioned a number of issues regarding morality, a number of issues regarding whether this is a tax matter or not. But I think fundamentally the key question here is a question of rule of law. Because the process that has been followed does not comply with, first of all, the constitutional rights accorded to any person in Kenya, including companies. Secondly, does not follow the process that would ordinarily follow in a typical tax dispute. I think the crux of the issue was, as it was articulated by Madam Elizabeth Mayo, the Commissioner for KRA, that fundamentally there is a tax issue. Tax issue is a question of, is a winning considered to be gross or is it considered to be net? That is the tax dispute. What usually happens with tax disputes is that they go to the tax appeals tribunal. When they go to the tax appeals tribunal, a determination is made. Once a determination is made, the issue is then conclusively dealt with. There is a right of appeal for any person in Kenya enshrined in the Constitution that you cannot be condemned unheard, and you have the right to approach a tribunal, such as a tribunal or as a high court, for your matter to be determined. Now, speaking specifically for Betin, there was a filing that was done before the High Court, before the Tax Appeals Tribunal, Tax Appeals number 302 of 2019. That tax appeal was lodged. It was while pending determination. There was a consent that was agreed, that was signed by the betting companies together with the Kenya Revenue Authority, and I believe that that consent has been shared with you. The consent is dated 2nd or 12th of July 2019, pursuant to which all the parties, including the Kenya Revenue Authority, agreed that pending final determination of the matter, there would be no enforcement action taken against the parties. I will draw your attention to paragraph 6 of that consent, and it says that the orders of stay made by the Honorable Tribunal on 2nd of July will apply to all the matters and will remain in force until final hearing and determination of the test suit. As we stand today, the matter is still pending before the tribunal. The matter has not...
Na mtazamaji, hiyo hapo ni kamati ya bunge la seneti kuhusiana na masuala ya sheria, wakizungumza na mashirika na kampuni za kamari hapa nchini kuhusiana na hatua ambazo basi zimeweza kuchukuliwa za kusitisha huduma za kampuni hizo. Na ni kwa kamati hiyo inaongozwa naye Bwana Samson Cherargei ambaye ni seneta wa kaunti ya Nandi, na ni kuwa basi kwa sasa kikao hicho kinaendelea. Tutazidi kufuatilia mengi zaidi mtazamaji, kukupa taarifa kamili kutoka